The Global Returns Project has assembled a portfolio of today's most effective not-for-profit environmental organizations. Global Canopy is one of our incredible portfolio partners, and today I'm delighted to be speaking with its executive director, Niki Mardas. Hi, Niki.
Hi, Jack. How are you?
I'm good. So Niki, my first question is, how does Global Canopy's work help tackle crises like climate change or biodiversity loss?
Well, let's start with climate. I mean, we lose a football field of forest every 6 seconds, staggeringly. A huge amount of carbon goes into the atmosphere as a result. So while I've been talking, we've lost a football field, 2 football fields of forest. And look, you mentioned biodiversity. There are other impacts this is driving, of course, which we cannot afford any more than we can afford climate change. Biodiversity, 80% of terrestrial biodiversity in tropical forests, the rights and livelihoods of indigenous peoples, of local communities are being trampled on in many cases in egregious ways. And we're all connected to this problem. I mean, I think that's the important thing to remember. We're all part of what we call the deforestation economy. 2/3 of deforestation worldwide is driven by agricultural expansion for a handful of commodities that end up in more than 50% of the products in our supermarkets. And a huge problem has been the lack of data, the lack of information on how these global markets and global finance are linked, how all our lives are linked to these impacts on the ground. And that's where Global Canopy comes in. We provide innovative data, metrics, and insights to help improve transparency and accountability on these issues. And to give you an example, I mean, our data, a recent study that we launched showed how $2.7 trillion in financing goes into financial institutions with no commitments to tackle this issue.
Tell me about a Global Canopy accomplishment that you're particularly proud of.
At Global Canopy, we've always worked to drive systemic change. We've always thought in our 20-year history about targeting acupuncture points in the system. And that's why we've focused on the finance sector since at least 2009, so continuously now for over 12 years. And a few weeks ago, there was a big milestone in this effort and a big milestone for Global Canopy as an organization with the launch of a major global initiative called the Task Force for Nature-Related Financial Disclosures, which sets out to create a standardized framework for financial institutions to assess, to manage, and to report on their impacts and dependencies on nature. And it was sent on its way with an endorsement by the recent G7 finance ministers meeting, who said this is something that they welcome and that needs to happen. So there's a lot of work now that needs to be done. There are many technical and political challenges, but the wheels are turning on an initiative that could fundamentally change the relationship between global finance and the natural world.
So finally, Niki, why is Global Canopy partnering with the Global Returns Project?
Well, we find ourselves in great alignment with the Global Returns philosophy. As I've said, we're aiming at solutions to move global finance away from nature negative and towards nature positive outcomes. That in itself, I mean, that's a huge systemic undertaking. But we also need to invest in tackling some of the impacts that we've caused and indeed in changing the system itself. I think that's where Global Returns' vision of reinvesting in Earth comes in, providing the support to organizations like ours to create change. Change requires innovation. We can't just keep doing what we've been doing. And that's why support from Global Returns is invaluable to what we do. It helps provide a kind of venture philanthropy, the oxygen we need to be able to innovate, to be able to take risks. And we're extremely grateful to Global Returns and to all those that are investing through Global Returns.
Niki, we're thrilled to have Global Canopy in our portfolio, and thanks so much for joining me today.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
And you can learn more about Global Canopy and our other portfolio partners on our website, globalreturnsproject.earth. Thank you.